And well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the TNT podcast. Here with your boy Torres Finney with my co-host Tyler Layfield. What's going on, Tyler?
Man, nothing much. Good little weekend. Got Monday and Tuesday off. Wednesday without the kids. So a good
Wait,
long
y'all don't go to
weekend
school
here.
tomorrow?
President's Day, and then
Oh,
Tuesday. I guess it's like an extended little winter break. So
wow, interesting.
means we can have a little late night special of the TNT podcast.
That's
Like
right.
a rare late night special. So yeah, man, I'm ready to get back at it.
Interesting. So we have a lot of different things to discuss today, and yeah, we're currently we're a little bit behind from obviously the week before with the Super Bowl, but to be
Wanted to
honest,
see
there's
how it
nothing.
played out.
Yeah, and to be honest, it's like not much really to go over besides let's congratulate the Eagles. Eagles look good, man. I mean, top to bottom. And I said on here that I picked the Chiefs, but I said for the Eagles to win the game, they have to make. Well, I said for the Chiefs, what they want to do, they say Eagles, if you're going to beat me, Jalen Hurts will have to do it. You have to beat me. Like I'm not going to let
Yeah,
Saquon Barkley beat me, and that's exactly what happened, which I didn't think could happen. I didn't think
me
Hurts
neither.
would play that elite in the game, and he did. He proved me absolutely wrong, and they did definitely
Played
shut down
great.
Saquon, but it didn't matter because Hurts did it with his arms, with his legs, and that defense of the Eagles. Oh my gosh, man. They looked elite, bro. I mean, they put it on Kansas City. Kansas City was a deer in headlights for the entire game. And what a performance. What a Super Bowl performance. I can just.
Yeah. The big stat of the day, kind of, well, at least I seen it reported at least by one person, was that the Eagles didn't have to send a single blitz.
Nope.
And then one person said there may have been one blitz, but I don't know. Most people said there wasn't a single blitz. So when you're able to generate pressure like that with just sending four, good things are to come. And we got to see a lot of our home state boys, our Georgia boys, kind of go off. So
Look good.
Georgia and Alabama, they we did the little meme where we joined joined
Yeah.
hands right
Yeah.
there, and yeah, they did their thing, man. Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts from Bama, and then you had Jordan Davis, Nolan Smith, Jalen Carter. N'Kobe Dean didn't get to play. He's hurt right now, but should he have played, that it would have been that much better. Of course, they had a couple other guys, Keely Ringo and Lewis Seen, but they don't really play as much on that defense. But really proud of those dogs, man. Really proud of those dogs, and it was fun because you and I both were on the record on this show saying we just don't see how this is going to play out where the Chiefs don't win it. And I came in fully believing. My family was asking me. I went and watched it with them. They were saying, who do you think's going to win? It was like, just really feels like it's going to be the Chiefs, and I felt very confident in that. But
Even when they were down 24 to nothing, I still didn't think they were out of
yeah, you can't
it.
count it
That's
out.
crazy.
Can't count it out. That's what Dad and I were saying. We're like, the minute you start talking like that is the minute something will happen. And
Yeah.
there was some stat that happened that night. I think Zach sent it in there. The last time there was a pick six before this last one was Robert Alford for the Atlanta Falcons when they
That's right.
played New England when they were up 28-3. And so
Mhm.
very it kind of set that shiver down your spine like, uh-oh, could this happen
It, it,
again?
it gave those type of vibes, and we were like, well, this is your game to do that, Mahomes. And
Yeah.
obviously, I mean, I had said it in one of the group messages. I don't know if it was ours or somebody else, but I said if he comes back down 24 to nothing, it's gonna be
Crown him.
hard. It's gonna
Crown
be
him
hard for
now.
me to say he's not the goat. To be honest,
Yeah. Crown him
but
now.
yeah, but it's one of those games, and I compare this game similar to when New England again had the 18-0 undefeated season, and they lost to Eli Manning. Now, granted, that was a much more closer game. It was heartbreaking, but it's about the semantics around it. They had the number one offense. One at that time it was the greatest offense to ever
It was
step
awesome.
foot on the field. You're right. Randy Moss had broke the NFL receiving touchdown record with 23, broke Jerry Rice record. Tom
Right.
Brady had thrown for the most touchdowns in NFL history in a single season. Obviously, he won MVP. I mean, they were dominant all over it. Multiple
Mm-hmm.
All Pros, undefeated, and they were like, "Oh, well, we're going to the Super Bowl." And the number one offense of all time at that time had only scored 14 points in the Super Bowl. That was very, very underachieving. That's one of those games that people always said, man, we're going to hold it over Brady. And right now, until proven otherwise, again, This is one of those games from a home. I know a lot of people don't like to really blame him too much for the Tampa Bay Super Bowl because of the circumstances with all the injuries that they had around the entire team going into that game. But um, granted, look, I know a lot of people want to be like, well, his offensive line, he didn't have great receivers, blah blah blah. But I keep saying this:
I
we
thought that
can't.
offensive line was good going into that game, though. Like everybody thought that was a good offensive line.
That's what they thought. But see, this is the thing. We can't start moving the like the
It's about
goalposts
matchups.
when one is about matchups, but two, we can't start moving the goalposts when we've seen Mahomes and his Chiefs teams. Let's be honest, they haven't had a great wide receiver in the last 3 years at all, besides like
No.
Travis Kelsey. Like their best wide receiver when they beat the Eagles 2 years ago was Juju. So like, let's be real, they
Yeah.
haven't had nothing spectacular anyway. So we can't sit here and be like, well, they didn't have this, they didn't have that, they didn't had this the last 2 years they won the Super Bowl. And it's finally just got caught up with them. Like, okay, we gonna have to go and get some dogs. We got to go get some players. Now, granted, they got Xavier Worthy, but
DeAndre Hopkins.
DeAndre Hopkins was not it. You
Yeah, he's
know,
doing much. Yeah, he's dropping passes out
dropping
there.
passes. Kelsey was dropping passes.
Doing his best Aaron Smith impression.
Yeah, like Juju didn't do much. There's no Rasheed Rice. I mean, those
Yeah.
boys just had a struggle, and they couldn't get a run game going. I
No
mean,
Pacheco.
no
No
Pacheco.
Kareem
Pacheco
Hunt.
had 3 carries for 7 yards, and Kareem had 3 carries for 9 yards.
Yeah.
That's nothing.
Once you get down like that, you have to abandon it, and that's the bad thing about it.
You're right. So that was just a rough game overall for them. Um, but I'm not like this. Even when people debate between the Brady and Mahomes, I'm similar to this with LeBron and MJ. I'm not going to sit here and discredit people because you make it to the championship. Everybody's like, "Oh, he lost in the Super Bowl. Brady ain't never lost that bad." Yes,
If you
he.
get with a girl, if you get with a girl 10 times, you gonna close the deal. Yeah, you start doing that freaking thing.
Yeah.
Don't start with
No,
that. Don't
I,
start with that
I
crap.
I'm not for that because I'm big. I'm big about success. When I've always
Mm-hmm.
when people ask the question, would you rather lose in a wild card? Would you rather lose a Super Bowl? I would rather lose a wild card. I ain't lose a Super. Well, then that's a losing mentality
You're
because that
lame.
you're lame. Like
Yeah,
nobody
like
would
that's
want
just
to lose
lame.
earlier. I've heard people say that. Like
You're so full of crap if you say I wouldn't want to make it to the championship game. Like
exactly.
you realize how idiotic you sound, saying that.
Yes, and like when
God.
people talk about, let's just talk about the Buffalo Bills of the '90s. They went to 4 straight Super Bowls and lost 4 straight. Now, yes, obviously we know they would love to win a Super Bowl, but do you think would you want him to sit and say, "Well, I think they would have rather lost 4 times in the wild card back to back"? No, no, it's because
It wouldn't have hurt as much, but at the same time, if you get offered the chance to at least have an opportunity to win a championship, you gotta take it.
you got
You
to take
gotta
it.
want to have that.
It's about winning and getting to that point. That's why, again, that's a notch in LeBron's between that debate. He went to 8 straight. Who is
Yeah,
going around? You ain't seen nobody doing something like that since the freaking '60s and
it's
'70s with
probably
Bill.
not. It may not happen again under
I don't,
this
especially
new
with the
cap
parity
rules
now.
and everything.
No, I don't see it happen like that ever again. So that's a credit in his hat. Now, did he win everyone? No, but that's not. That's
No,
why are we mad at him because he didn't win everyone? Are we supposed to get mad at him for winning? Are we supposed to get mad at Mahomes for winning? He went 15-2 this year. He beat the Buffalo Bills, who had just beat last year. They beat Baltimore in the conference championship. He don't beat the Bengals. He'll beat a lot of these top tier quarterbacks in the
yeah.
NFL throughout the playoffs, throughout the regular season, throughout the last few years. Yes, he's lost the Super Bowl, but I don't necessarily think we should say, "Oh man, this absolutely puts him out of the conversation." It stings him. Don't get me wrong, but it doesn't put him out of the conversation like I've been
Mm-hmm.
seeing a lot of people talk about. In my opinion, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah. Like I'm like you. Like I'm not gonna sit here and make excuses for them. By any means, but still, I'm not gonna have that really put a mark on them. You know what I'm saying? Like Mahomes is still Mahomes. Maybe this will be a little bit of an eye opening thing because this was an offense this whole season where just like it just felt different this year, right? Like they were just
It is.
barely squeaking out wins, and it was you would hear the narrative of the officials, and it kind of started early in this game, like with
It did.
that
That was
pass
funny.
interference call,
That
yeah,
was funny.
like offensive pass interference, and then they did the makeup call,
They
and it
did.
ended up being fine. I didn't think it was a real bad.
That was bad. That was bad.
Those two were pretty like it was
That's bad.
easily like that was a tic tac foul to start things off,
Hmm.
and then the makeup call was obviously a makeup call. Like it felt like okay, we gotta get him back, kind of thing. But besides that, I mean, a lot of the stuff seemed kind of like the right call for the most part. Like I'm not gonna say that, but it was a team that was barely winning games. It's very similar. I mean, you can kind of make a case like this, man. Like Georgia this year.
Hmm.
Georgia, they weren't winning things decisively. Like this wasn't, an offense that was a superpower by any means throughout the season. They were just doing just enough to win games. The
Yep.
defense was helping out. The offense was doing just enough, and it ultimately came back to bite them. What I'm interested to see is the response from this for next season. Are we going to see Mahomes get back to his style of airing it out? We saw a little glimpse of it with that one Xavier Worthy throw there
Yeah.
toward the end of the game. Like that was like old time Mahomes stuff. That stuff you saw back when he had Tyreek Hill, but just hasn't really had that. So I think what we're going to see, I think we're going to definitely see a resurgence. This team is not done, man. Mahomes will be back. I think that they're gonna retool this offseason. I'm going to look here in just a second at what they got, like asset wise, throughout the draft. But just going back to what you said about the offensive line, Joe Tooney, you've definitely heard that name before.
Yes.
Good
One of the
left tackle.
best.
We can't sit here and say this is a bad guy. Creed Humphrey, I believe he's a highly rated center. Trey Smith, we saw this guy
Yeah.
Houston County, right?
That's right.
So I mean, that these were not bad guys. Like this is not a bad offensive line by any means. So I want to go ahead and throw that narrative out. They just got outmanned. Like they just
They
got
got bullied. They
they
got
got
bullied in the
got.
line of scrimmage. Yep.
Yeah,
They got
it
bullied
was just I don't
because
know, man. It just
when
wasn't your
you
day.
when you can
It
play
just
your
wasn't your day.
base when you can play your base defense and still get pressure and still disrupt the quarterback like like you're blitzing, like these guys couldn't stop Jack. I mean, even when they would have a running back in the backfield, they still getting pressure them home. They was bullying them off the football. That was rough to watch. Look.
Hmm.
That's a football game where it got one in the trenches. I don't care what that game was won in the trenches for sure. That was I am
Yeah,
bigger and better than you. Line up and play
do something
football.
about it.
Yep, that's exactly what that was,
Do
dude.
something about it. Show me you can stop this.
Show me you can stop it, boy. And it was rough. It showed up
Yeah.
was rough for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
But
I,
for
I'm
but
I'm looking at it now. They got their first round pick, second round pick. They got two third rounders, a fourth, and then two seventh. So not real deep draft capital, but I mean, if you got four picks in the first three rounds, you can add some talent there. So that's something I'm gonna look at, and then obviously the free agency. We're going to see what they do in that.
yeah,
And
and
word
for
on
the
the street
Eagles,
already is Hopkins is going to dip out, but I think you and I can both agree that's not going to be a huge,
nah, that's not gonna be huge. Yeah,
miss
if
there.
they're able to get Rice back, that's an upgrade. To be
Yeah,
honest,
yeah.
so
Rice, Worthy, Kelsey said he's coming back. You could maybe draft a guy, go from there.
actually also drafting a guy to get ready to take over from Kelsey.
The mock draft I just looked at was that tight end from Michigan, Loveland. So he's pretty
Oh,
solid,
okay,
pretty solid. So
okay.
that could be a good filler.
That'd be a good filler. What about that tight
Hmm.
end from
Penn State,
Penn State? Yeah, yeah, yeah,
he's
Penn State.
probably going to get picked before pick 31. He is a
Okay,
beast. What's
he
what's
is a
his
beast.
name?
I can't
T.J.
remember.
Warren, Tyler
There you
Warren.
go. There you
Yeah,
go. That boy was a
yeah,
monster, bro. He was good. I
yeah,
really enjoyed watching him play this year.
yeah.
If anything, that's the only thing Penn State had on offense.
Yes, they did. That
So
and then every now and then you'd have a run. You'd have
yeah,
some
run.
decent runs every now and then.
That's
But
true. What's your thoughts about the Eagles going into next year, though? Could you see
that's
a
what I was about
potential
to ask
repeat?
you, man. So yeah, I mean, I really want to look at their contract situations, just to kind of see who is up. I mean, obviously they have a lot of young talent. A lot of these guys. You look at that whole defensive line. Just about all of them are either within their first 3 years of being with the team. So
Hmm.
they're going to obviously be fine there. Let's see if I can see anything about. I don't know who their potential free agents necessarily are, but I mean, obviously, you got to like where they're at. If Jalen Hurts can play like he just did, and if they keep these weapons around, um, you have to feel good about the offense. Of course, Saquon going another year. The offensive line played really well, and you hate to see it in a way because Jason Kelsey, one of the best centers of all time. If he just waited another year, man, you would
I
have got you another one. I
know.
hate that. I hate that
I
for him.
know.
But
I
he was happy for them.
he
Uh,
was, yeah. To see
let's
his,
see here.
they got their revenge back. And let me tell you something. Going back on the Eagles,
Hmm.
what a story for a guy like Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
For Jalen Hurts, see that's the thing that I like about stuff like this. We sat here and we watched a guy like Jalen Hurts grow from college all the way up through pro. We saw his entire transition at Alabama. Got to remember freshman year taking the team to the national championship, having
Phenom.
a great phenom. They think, oh, this is gonna be the next great Alabama quarterback. Obviously, they lost in a thriller against Deshaun Watson and those boys.
Hmm.
Then the following year plays against Georgia, gets pulled at halftime against Georgia, and then they bring in Tua. Obviously, we saw what he did. Only for the following year, he had to sit and ride the bench for the whole year up until the SEC
SEC
championship game,
championship game, which
and
I
he
was there to
finally
see.
brought him out. Yeah, see
That
that
rat
would have
bastard.
hurt. And
that
to
that
see
hurted.
that, and then he go to Oklahoma and had an incredible season, a good enough season to even be in the running for a potential Heisman.
Who won
And
that year?
who won it that year?
Let me see. Hurts Heisman year. Let's see if I can find anything. That's what I was thinking right now.
He was in, yeah. I don't think he was second. I think he was like third or fourth, but he was in the running. Cause they played. Who did they play in the semis?
He was the runner up
Was it LSU? Did they
to
play
who? Oh,
LSU in
it was
the
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow? That's right. They played LSU in the playoffs. That's right. So they
Yeah, it was
played
Joe
LSU,
Burrow.
and we already know how that was going that year. So,
Yeah, that was
but
just a generational offense. That's probably one of the best offenses I've ever seen in freaking college football.
yeah,
Like,
that's no
if
question.
not the best, like that was
No question.
amazing.
That was epic. Them, and then when you see all that, what all their starters are doing in the league, is definitely was epic.
Just going
But
crazy, except for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Like he looked like
yeah.
a
Hey,
stud
but he
back then
won
to
him a
them.
Super Bowl in Kansas City. So.
He did. He got a Super Bowl ring.
Oh man, but yeah, man, to see how Jalen Hurts' entire career, and he just stayed true to himself. Finally getting to the Eagles, got the Eagles to the Super Bowl, got them back again. So you gotta think about it like this now. For Hurts, a lot of people, I could be one of them. I was skeptical on how his pro career was going to go once he got to the league.
Same.
Um, and everybody thought at the time, look, probably heck, people still think now. They probably think Tua was better than Hurts, both in college, both in a pro. And I think Hurts is just a guy that just obviously works really hard, and he's able to really fit around the system that he's in. The offense that they run in Philly, he didn't have that type of run game when he was in there. The first year that he took the Eagles to the Super Bowl. Now having a guy like Saquon Barkley to allow himself to open up more because of the threat of the run game, it's going to be a dangerous team to beat. Then AJ Brown and Devontae Smith and all those boys, whew,
Hmm.
hard team to beat, man. That's a hard team to
Yeah.
beat. That's a hard team to beat. I would
Yeah.
have loved to watch them face the Detroit Lions, a healthy Detroit Lions team. I really wanted to see how that game would have went, but yeah, the Eagles, man, they look good. Eagles
Yeah,
look good.
offensively, it looks like they're just going to be losing Mekhi Becton. If you remember, he was like a former
I
first round
remember him.
pick from
Mm-hmm.
the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
On the offensive line, he's just a good guy to have on the line, especially with all the depth they got. If you can just
Where he
kind of
played
keep him
at? What in
around.
Georgia?
No, Becton, I think he was, you know what,
Ohio
I'm getting him
State.
mixed up with something. Mekhi Becton College. Let me see here. Let's see. Draft. He
I
got
remember him.
drafted out of Louisville.
Louisville. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm thinking
big
of
guy,
somebody.
big. He had a big frame. I
Mm-hmm.
was getting him mixed up with Ike Aquano or whatever, the one that
Mm-hmm.
just got drafted last year. But yeah, him on offense and then defense. They got Josh Sweat, Brandon Graham, Zach Bond, which was a big one for them this year, and Avonte Maddox. That's their big ones on the defensive side of the ball. Brandon Graham, he
He's
missed a
gonna
lot of time,
retire.
and he
He's
came
gonna
back.
retire.
Yeah, he's probably going to retire. But Zach Bond, they had signed him to a 1 year deal this year, and if you recall, he had a pick in the game. He had a great season for them. But,
He
just a
did.
great value contract for them. So he's done earned him some money. Let's see if they'll be able to keep him around. I don't know. We'll have to see. And then Josh Sweat, you'll have to remind me. I don't know how well he ended up doing this year. I know he's got the name value.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see how he did this year, but
He
that's the
played solid.
main free
He did.
agents.
Yeah, the Eagles
So
had actually a pretty good defense. And if anybody go back and like remember the Eagles games like throughout the season, they didn't have many like nail biters. They was actually winning a lot of their games pretty dominantly. So they
yeah,
were like a good overall football team. They
six
were.
tackles, 4 assists, and 2.5 sacks in the Super Bowl. So yes, he
That's
did have
good.
an impact in
Yeah,
that
it
game.
really impact.
Definitely had an impact. 2.5 sacks, man.
Man.
Yeah. So yeah, they look good. The future's bright. And then as far as let's see, the Eagles. Let's see what they look like draft pick wise. I want to see what they got going on there. Let's see. They have all their picks and they have 3 5th rounders. So they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 5, 6, 7. So they're going to be in a
Wow.
position they can add some more depth. Yeah, looks like a compensatory pick there, and then or no, it has their own pick, the Houston Texans pick and the Commanders pick, which I wonder how they got those. But pretty interesting stuff there. So we'll see what they do in the offseason. They're definitely going to be, both teams. I could definitely see getting back to this point. And there's going to definitely be some dark horses. Somebody was bringing it. I heard somebody talking about it, but looking at how the Chiefs played against that Philly defensive line compared to how the Commanders played against it. And I know the Commanders game, like that score ended up looking pretty lopsided, but really that game, if you recall, it was a pretty close game. Like, Commanders were in there for a good
They
bit of the
were in there for
time.
a little bit. Hmm.
The way Jaden Daniels was navigating that defense, it just, and here I am. I know I'm glazing over this guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did this. This is my dude. Like, I'm going to ride for him, but I can't help but feel they're going to be pretty good. Them, maybe the lines. I'm a little skeptical on the lines just because of all the coaching changes, all the
That's
injuries.
true.
They could be losing some free agents, but they literally lost the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. They're losing some other assistant coaches to those two coaches that are leaving. It's just a lot of turnover, and sometimes it's hard to deal with that, and
It is.
be able to remain consistent in how you play. So we'll have to see how they do. Any other kind of team sticking out to you that you think could be in the mix for it next year?
Uh, I mean, yeah, always gonna be the Chiefs. I'm not gonna sleep on Baltimore. Um,
Yeah, Baltimore. Yeah,
or Buffalo. I mean, look,
Buffalo too. Yeah,
you gotta remember, one of these teams gonna eventually get over the hump. I mean, and then this is the thing with me.
your Steelers.
Nah,
They've been.
I
I've been seeing some rumors. Y'all been reaching out about Trevor Lawrence and maybe a little
saw that. I
Stafford
don't want
action.
that. I don't. I get Stafford, but I don't. I don't want. I want has-beens. I really don't because now Stafford,
Lawrence still could maybe do
I would take
something.
Stafford for a little bit, but Trevor Lawrence,
Stafford's like a 1 year rental. Like he's like a 1 year, 2 year rental, if that.
that's it. But see, we
Trevor
already
Lawrence, you could catch, you could do a little buy low, and he could maybe end up becoming something.
with who? With Arthur Smith, the offensive coordinator?
Yeah,
Okay.
you gotta get rid of him. You do gotta get rid of
Okay.
him.
I don't know what's worse, him or Bobo. I said I
Yeah,
can't be fans
right,
of any of these teams
right.
because I got bad offensive
You
coordinators
just yeah,
to sit here watching
just
this mess on
being
every week.
cursed.
Look, I sit here and watch this mess every week. It gets aggravating. But look, I'm be honest with you. I don't. You would think eventually these one of these teams will get over the hump. You would think eventually Buffalo or Baltimore would eventually get over the hump against Kansas City. Because, bro, let's be honest. Every year, it's not like Kansas City is like that much better than those teams that they're playing. It's just that they perform better in the clutch situations.
Yeah.
Buffalo eventually. I mean, look, you lost 4 times to Mahomes in the playoffs. That's crazy. But
Mm-hmm.
eventually, Buffalo or eventually Baltimore or heck, Cincinnati, like one of those teams,
Yeah,
they got to be
Cincinnati, if
there.
they can get the defensive side of the ball right, and they can
Yeah,
make some good offensive play calls, then yeah,
yeah.
you're right.
So, oh, and also, what are your thoughts? Last thing about football. What are your thoughts on? Um, man, you made me forget his name. Oh, Josh Allen win the MVP over Lamar Jackson.
I thought it had kind of swung to Lamar Jackson before that, but I'm going to sit here and tell you this, man. I think it could have gone either way. We were up in arms about it. Like it was back and forth there for a while. Like it looked like Josh Allen for a good bit, and then Kobe was on the show talking about Lamar Jackson, and it did start swinging to Lamar Jackson for a while there. If you remember, he went on a little streak there. I
Hmm.
think you can make a case for both, and I heard some people talking about this too. There have been years where there were co MVPs. Like I think it was in the '90s there was, and I don't know if you would call that cheesy or not, but I think if there was a year to kind of do it, this could have been the year. I think that
I
both
think
of
there
them
was.
made great cases.
I think it was between Barry Sanders and I want to say I forgot. I actually forgot. I remember that. I remember that they had. I think it was Barry Sanders and somebody else, but they were co MVPs one time. Uh,
Yeah.
I forgot who it was, dude. But in all honesty, oh no, it was 2003. That's right.
Peyton
Peyton
Manning and
Manning,
Steve McNair.
Steve McNair,
Brett Favre and Barry
Barry
Sanders in
Sanders. Okay, that's the one.
1997 as well, and
Hmm.
then in 1960. But it don't tell me who that was.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's three times that it's happened. So I think this
There's
could have
only
been a
said
really.
it's on. I've only seen it two times. Oh,
All right, never mind.
1960. You're right. 1960. 1960. That
Yeah.
was a tie. That's
Oh,
right. That's right.
Norm Van Brocklin and Joe Schmidt. So you remember those two?
I know of Norm Van Brocklin played for the Rams, but I don't know about
All
Joe
right.
Smith. But yeah, man. But look, I agree, and I made this case for Josh Allen. Do I think Lamar Jackson actually had a little bit of a better season? Yeah, but one again, it's also about results. We just saw Joe Burrow had the best season out of both of them, and again, his results is what matter.
Carrying too. Carrying.
Exactly. And Josh Allen beat the number one team in the AFC, which were the Chiefs, which technically were their real, true only loss. Besides, they didn't play their stars at all against Denver, so that was their true only loss. And then they beat the number one seed in the NFC, the Detroit Lions, while having the number two seed. So they were one of the best teams in the entire NFL. Why?
And
I
they really didn't have a stud wide receiver this year.
They did
Like
not,
it was kind of like a wide receiver by committee kind of deal. Like where he
and
didn't
it's
have
hard.
a superstar.
And it's hard to say when Josh Allen led in rushing touchdowns. Now I know Lamar had more yards, but technically I think he had 41 touchdowns while Lamar had 45 total as well. So it's like
Mm,
the touchdown was right there. The passing yards, yeah, a little bit more of Lamar, but you also had Derrick Henry.
yeah,
And
that held him back a little bit
I
this
think
year.
that holds you back a little bit because Derrick Henry had a phenomenal season this year.
Yeah,
So I think it's definitely most valuable. And in terms of that, like take Allen. I mean, you can do this with anybody, but you can't take away Josh Allen's running back and be, oh, look here, look at this. Because Cook was good, but Cook wasn't to the
he
degree of
wasn't
Derrick
Derrick
Henry.
Henry. No.
Exactly. So this guy carried a team after he lost his wide receiver. Because what did everyone say last year when he lost Diggs and lost all those other boys? Oh, them Bills ain't gonna be as good. Then he got him to the number two seed. Then beat two of the best teams in the NFL.
Yeah.
I think his case is more of a result factor rather than just stat factor, which I tell people this all the time. Is more than just stats. It's about
Mm,
results, impact, things of that nature. It's
yeah.
similar to what the Heisman was. Everybody was getting mad at the Heisman. Well, I mean, look,
Impact. Yeah.
impact. This man
Offensive,
was doing the
defensive
offense
side.
and
Yeah.
defense, compared to
Mm,
obviously just offense and plus the teams that they played. So stuff like that matters, man. It really does. And I
mm.
definitely thought Josh Allen
I think
deserved it,
he had a decent
but
case.
he
I'm
had a
not
decent
mad at
game.
it. I wasn't gonna be mad either way.
And last year, look, I thought Lamar Jackson was one of the worst ones. Lamar Jackson the lead in top 10 in any offensive category last year, and he still won MVP. So,
Yeah.
but why did he win MVP? Because he was on the number one ranked team in the NFL. They had the number one seed, the Baltimore Ravens.
Mm,
Oh, that's why he won MVP. But now, since he had a much better year, oh, he should have won it. Wait a minute. Josh Allen was ranked higher. So it's small things, and that's the thing with MVP, as we see in all sports. It's never, it's never straightforward throughout the year. It's
never
each
cut and
year
dry.
it switches.
Hmm.
Each year it
You're
switches.
right. You're right. Well, let's move on from football. Let's get into the All Star Weekend, and some would say this is the year of the amazing whites. You got Cooper
Yep.
DeJean and Blankenship on the Eagles. You got a white guy.
The dog.
As a corner. Getting a
Yeah.
pick six, and then you got Mac McClung dunking. You got Tyler Hero shooting threes, winning the 3-point shootout. What'd you
I
think of
know,
NBA
right?
All Star Weekend? Did you watch the stuff last
I'm
night?
gonna be honest with you. I did not watch much of it, but I definitely kept up with a good little bit on Twitter. The
Mm-hmm.
Mac McClung, how you say his name correctly? Let me see.
McClung.
McClung. That's right. Uh, yeah, man. I'm be honest,
That was
boy.
awesome.
This boy came out of nowhere and just like he showed out. Boy showed out, man. He had a great performance in his dunks. I thought I was really impressed, and I didn't see the 3-point shooting. Who was all competing in that way? If you don't.
Buddy Hill, Darius Garland, Damian Lillard.
Mm, mm.
Uh, what's the point guard from the Knicks? Jalen Brunson.
Okay, it was a solid. It
Yeah.
was solid.
It was a decent little crew.
Hmm.
And Buddy Hield had the highest. Like he had 31 in his opening round, but then ended up losing it to Tyler Hero. So
So let me ask you this. So I ain't never seen this one before in my life. Uh,
what
so Mac McClung is on the G League right now.
he is. He was last year. He's been in it every year that he's done the dunk contest. This is his third in a row where he's been on a G League team and done it.
So he's won the dunk contest 3 years in a row.
Correct.
I'm so lost. That shows you how much I've watched this All Star Weekend.
Yeah.
I have not even heard of this man. He has won it three.
No.
He has won it
Yes,
3 years in a row, bro.
Yes. He's been doing this. He's been doing
That's
this, man.
crazy, dude.
Yes, he's been doing this.
What the freak?
He was with Philly 2 years ago. He was with the Magic last year as well. In their affiliate, their G League affiliate, the Osceola Magic, and then this year, same thing. But yeah, this is his third one in a row, man.
That's crazy, brother. I'm not gonna lie to you.
The only reason, dude, I mean, I do watch this every year because I really do actually enjoy the dunk contest for the most part. There was one year that it really sucked, and it was the year that Glenn Robinson the third won it, and
mm,
they did like a team dunk contest. Like it was like golly, how did they do it? It was back in 2017, and I'm pretty sure it was like a team dunk contest they did. It sucked. It was awful.
I don't like it. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. A lot of this stuff that they have on All Star Weekend now is a lot. There's a lot of fluff. I'm not a fan. I'm
I've
not a
always liked the
fan.
dunk contest. I'll watch those now. I really will. I'll get down with the dunk contest. I'll watch the 3 point shootout sometimes. Like we've been on this kick. We've had my sister in law over. We've been doing the watching these pop culture Jeopardies.
Oh,
I don't know if you've watched those. They're on Amazon Prime, so I've just been killing them at it. I love it. I love
I
showing
ain't
off my
seen those
children.
yet.
They're fun. It's actually pretty good, man. I've enjoyed it. But we flipped off and went to the after we did it for a while, we went and watched the dunk contest, and it's fun watching. It was fun watching them two watch it because they don't watch stuff like that. So, whoa, how's he doing that? It's like stuff like they're like. How's that one guy not, how's he not getting his on the first try? Stuff like that. I'm just like, well, it's kind of hard.
It's kind of hard. Yeah, it
But
is Jeopardy.
It was him versus Stephon Castle, though. Mac McClung versus Stephon Castle. Stephon Castle ended up having a really good. If you remember him, he's the rookie from
Yeah, I definitely.
UConn.
Hmm.
He actually had some really good dunks too. There were some people on Twitter, debating, hey, he should have won it. He had a few really good dunks, but there was one where he did like a 360 behind the back and finished with the other hand. Like it was pretty nice.
That's
He
neat.
had one where he had a guy do a layup, and when the ball went through the net, he like timed it where he came up from under, went between his legs and slammed it. It was nice. But Mac jumped over
Ah.
a car. He had one where he slammed two
Okay, look,
basketballs.
we can't keep doing this jumping over. I saw it. I saw it was nice.
Now, given that was the first time that's happened since the Blake Griffin. Now
That's been what Blake Griffin was 2011,
it's been a while. It's
12.
been a hot minute. Like that. It's been a minute, bro.
It has
It's
been a
been a
minute.
minute.
It's been
But
a
yeah,
minute.
that's one thing that people were cracking on him for. They're like, this guy, all he does is use props. And yeah, sure he does use props, but I mean, it really wasn't that bad. Like I don't know. I don't think it was that gimmicky. But I've been keeping up with McClung for a while. He was like a little Twitter phenom. Anytime there's a white guy out there dunking like he dunks,
Yeah,
like in
you,
high school,
you
my
know they're
dad,
gonna bring him up.
hey, yeah, I would send him to Louis, and Louis was like, man, I like this guy, like,
He can play
and
basketball. Oh, he's
yeah,
doing nothing.
and then there's this. Have you heard of the comedian Shane Gillis? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, oh, yeah, yeah.
yeah. Like he has this whole bit where he talks about remember the Titans and how secretly like all the white people whenever they see a white guy get something, oh shoot, go, like they'll start like doing that like in
Yeah,
football. It's like part of that comes up when you see it in basketball, like oh
that
yeah,
is very true.
you repping us, but
That's
um
very true.
he did really good, and it was just I don't know he ended up going to Georgetown, and Dad, one thing about Dad, it's just like Penn State in football and Notre Dame in football. he cannot stand Georgetown in college basketball.
Wow.
He hates them.
He's like,
He hates Georgetown.
he hates the Hoyas.
So yeah,
He
yeah,
hates the Hoyas.
he hated it. He hated it when McClung went there, but he still kind of rooted for him. Like he would be kind of backing him up. But yeah,
That's
McClung,
cool.
he was on the G League for the Lakers for a while, and
Wow.
then got released, and then he went to I think it was Philly, and then Magic. So he's made more money in his dunk contest than he has on his NBA contracts up to this point. Believe it or not, 300 something thousand. He's only been paid 100 something thousand over his years
That's
in the NBA.
wild, bro.
But yeah,
That show.
it
Wow, that's wild. I'm
this
not
is
gonna lie. That's wild.
probably, I ain't gonna lie, this was probably the best dunk contest since that maybe the best one since that Aaron Gordon Zach Levine one. If you remember
That was a
that.
good one. Now
Now that was
that was a
awesome.
really good one. That was
I
a
went
really good
back
one.
and I pulled that up on YouTube after for them two to watch, and they were just, oh, they like it was cool because if you remember that one Aaron Gordon one where he got the mascot that was spinning on the hoverboard, and he had to
Hmm.
time it to get it, yank it back, do that, and
Yep.
boom, throw it down. It was
Yeah,
just nice.
that's pretty lit. Yeah, that's pretty
And
lit.
McClung kind of did that too. He paid homage to that. He had a guy get on a hoverboard and spin around too, and then
Hmm.
he grabbed that ball, slammed it with his right, while he grabbed another ball and slammed it with his left
Left.
underneath the hoop.
Wow.
It was nice. It was nice. I'm not gonna lie, I liked it. Did you see the shenanigans in the skills challenge with Chris Paul
I
and
did
Victor
see the.
Wembanyama?
Yeah, I did see that they were. They tried to play the rules. I
Cheat the
mean,
system, yeah.
yeah, cheat the system. I mean, hey, smart creativity. I mean, it's
Chris
not in the
Paul,
rule
leaving to
book.
Chris Paul.
Yeah. Hey, that's just how it is, man. Sometimes you got guys that think outside the box for sure.
Yeah,
I wasn't mad at it, but I saw they lost it.
it was funny.
Who won that one? Was that Damian Lillard and who else won?
There was the Cavaliers. It was Mobley and Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell. Okay, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. The Hawks had one guy. It was the first pick in the draft. Ricochet and Sar did like a, they were like a team of it. So I didn't get to watch that, but I did watch the dunk contest, and I did watch the what you call it, the 3 point shoot. I watched a bit of the 3 point shootout, but nothing crazy. Let's
Hmm.
see here, NBA. Let's see what the NBA All Star Game is doing right now.
Yeah, I'm about to say
Actually,
currently you got Team Shaq and Team
oh,
Chuck.
it's over. Chuck, or yeah, Chuck beat Kenny.
It was
Or
that
no, no,
quick?
no, never mind, never mind, never mind. It's 10 o'clock. It's Shaq versus Chuck. Sorry,
Yeah,
you're
Shaq
right.
versus. I'm about to say there's no way. I'm about to say it just started.
You're right. Yeah, so I guess we'll see how that one ends. But
Team
yeah,
Shaq is
anything
current.
else?
I'm about to say Team Shaq is currently up 11-1. So.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Yeah, LeBron didn't play tonight. I think you
Nah,
saw
it was
that, didn't
one.
you?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
I'm gonna
I
take
think
the
he's
L.
nursing the
Yeah,
injury. Him and Anthony Edwards. So, yep.
man. So anything else before we move to the deadline?
One. No, nothing else. Not going on in the NBA. It was pretty cool to see Luca finally play, even though I was mad about that. You saw a lot of people come out about those different type of things. Even the commissioner came out was like, "Look,
That
Dallas fan,
surprised me
trust
too.
him." But, bro, I'm pissed because we go back. A lot of people are saying, "Well, Anthony Davis, the last few years, I mean, since last year, he's been pretty reliable." Up first game he plays
Immediately
for us, injured. Like
injured,
you can't
groin
make
out
this stuff up.
indefinitely.
Can't make this stuff up, bro.
Then Gafford goes down.
And
He's
then
out for
Gafford
six
goes
weeks.
down.
Lively's already down. So you're the three, and then Dwight Powell's already down. So all the big men you got down and out.
You can't make this stuff
Crazy.
up, bro. You can't make
Karma,
this stuff.
man. Basketball karma.
Mm-mm.
So let's look at trade deadline real quick. Let's go over a few of these. Just give me your takes on these, and then we'll call it a day, man. So we'll start off with a couple lower level ones. So the Wizards, the Kings, and the Grizzlies did a deal. The Wizards received Marcus Smart, Colby Jones, don't know who that is, Alex Lynn, who they later waived, and a first round pick from the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies received two second round picks, Marvin Bagley, Johnny Davis, and the Kings received Jake LaRavia. Any thoughts come to mind there? Do you like this deal for anybody? Obviously, the biggest piece being Marcus Smart being moved.
Um, I don't. Not really. I mean,
I don't know why the Grizzlies did it. I'm gonna be honest.
yeah, that's
I don't know why you
interesting.
wouldn't just keep Marcus Smart. Why are
But
you giving away him? Is he? Then again, I haven't watched a whole lot. I think you and I are saying where we don't watch a ton of first half of the season NBA. We
Mm-mm.
just picked back up on it second half. But is Marcus Smart that bad now that you're trying to attach a first round pick to get rid of him?
I'm about to say because you got to also look. I mean, the Grizzlies are the number 2 seed currently in
Mm-hmm.
the West, so it might be something that he was looking forward to. But see, this is I don't know, man. It's weird. It's weird. To let go of a guy like Marcus Smart, who's really good defensively. Um,
Or that has been in the past. So
well,
yeah.
yeah, unless he's you're right. Which team is he going to again? He's going to
Going to the Wizards. He's going to go to
the
Siberia. Go die in a hole out there in Washington where
You're
he plays
right.
for nothing.
Because
And
Washington is the
Jake
last team.
Laravia, he was a pretty good little young player for the Grizzlies. I don't
Hmm.
know why you're just dumping him to the Kings. I know he's on the final year of his contract. He's about to get probably signed to a decent contract with the
Yeah.
Kings or whoever it is. But all you got was Marvin Bagley. You know you're not going to end up using him probably much. Johnny Davis. I know at one point this guy was looked at as maybe being something in 2 second round picks. Just seems like a salary dump. Like they don't believe in Marcus Smart. So
Nah.
I don't know.
No.
Next one you had Raptors trade Bruce Brown, Kelly Olynyk, a first round pick and a second round pick for Brandon Ingram. What you think on that one?
Ooh, that's interesting. That's interesting.
And they
So,
signed Brandon Ingram to a little long term deal. The Raptors did.
oh, so Brandon Ingram on the Raptors. That's not.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the Raptors season look like it's going down the trash right now, but
Yeah, they're not competing
that's
for
not
anything.
that's not too bad in the future. Let
Mm-hmm.
me see who's all on the Raptors right now. You got Scotty Barnes, R.J. Barrett,
Yeah.
Brandon Ingram. Um, let's see, P.J. Tucker. Yeah, you got a. It's an okay squad, you
Grady
know.
Dick.
Yeah, Grady did. They got an
I like
okay
Jamal. I
squad.
like Jamal Shed. I like him. I thought he was good at Houston. Jakob Pertl was decent center. Chris Boucher, Ochai Agbaji, decent.
Yeah,
It's just not a great roster.
it's
But Brandon
not.
Ingram's
Yeah,
Brandon
that's not.
Ingram's decent. Maybe he could bring some upside to him.
Yeah, and then where did Kelly Olynyk and them they got sent to the
Pelicans.
Pelicans?
Yeah, and the Pelicans aren't really playing for much now too. They're saying Bruce Brown and Kelly Olynyk could be buyout candidates.
I won't
If
surprise.
so, I would love the Lakers to swoop in and grab both of them potentially because
That would be
we're gonna get
huge.
to it here in a minute about one of their picks falling through.
Free look. I mean, look at the Pelicans. They got an okay roster with Zion.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, I know
But
he's but
he
he
whenever he plays,
whenever
right?
he plays, you got Kelly Olynyk, Dejounte Murray, C.J.
He's out though.
McCollum. Yeah, I know
Murray's
he's
out for the
out.
year.
Yeah, I'm mainly looking at this type of stuff for next year, hopefully
Uh huh.
for those guys. C.J. McCollum, uh,
Jordan Hawkins, I like
Jordan
him out of
Hawkins.
UConn. Jose
Okay,
Alvarado's decent. I like him. He's a good role
if
player.
these guys are healthy,
Trey Murphy's good.
it can make a little noise. It can make a little noise
Mm-hmm.
if it's
We'll
healthy.
see. We'll see about him. Eh, I don't know if Brandon Ingram's worth the first round pick and second round pick, but you know,
No, it's not. It's
we'll
not.
we'll we'll see how this
It's
plays out
not.
for both of them. All right, here's one that I'm ready to hear from you on. All right, Warriors. They went out and got Jimmy Butler from the Heat. They
Okay.
received Jimmy Butler, 2 second round picks, and cash considerations from the Heat. The Heat got Andrew Wiggins, Kyle Anderson, Davion Mitchell, and a 2025 first round pick from the Warriors. And the Jazz and Pistons snuck in on this too, and the Raptors. The Jazz got Josh Richardson, KJ Martin, 2 second round picks in cash. Pistons got Lindy Waters, Dennis Schroeder, and a second round pick from the Warriors. And the Raptors got PJ Tucker, a second round pick in cash considerations. A lot to
Okay.
unpack there. But for what it's worth, what do you think about Jimmy Butler on the Warriors? Give me that one first.
Okay. For one, I was getting a little irritated with Jimmy with this little thing
It was
in
so
Miami.
stupid.
It was because you got to remember, man. Look, these guys are paying you. How much are we paying them? 60 million for this year? Was it 60?
Way too much.
It was a lot of
For
money.
what he's giving you.
And you come in and you're getting mad that you want an extension.
He got it.
Well, see, and that's the problem with the Warriors because we're giving this to a 35-year-old Jimmy Butler. I mean, like, what are we
Yeah,
trying to do
he's
here?
getting, as of right now, for next year, he'll be getting $54 million and $56 million the year after from the Warriors, which I think you and I can both agree he is not worth that. He was getting paid 45 or $48 million
Okay, 48 million, so
this
50
year.
million basically.
Still too much.
That's crazy.
Too much for my taste and too rich for my blood.
How did the Heat do last year? How did they do last year? Then they lost in the first round to the Celtics. That's right. That's right.
They
That's
got
right.
that one game, and it was thinking, everybody was like, "Oh, I think they got one game right."
I think they did get one game. Yeah, they did. I think it was game one. You're right. That's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, they lost to the Celtics last year. I remember. But okay, so think about it like this: them losing to the Celtics. All right, with Jimmy Butler. Granted, the year before they went to the finals. I can understand in Jimmy eyes his worst. Since 2020, he's gotten the Heat to two finals. He's had these guys in contention the last few years. They've been a really good team, but you're on the older end, and to hope that these teams put in. So I look at it from a player standpoint, and I look at it from the organization standpoint. A guy like Jimmy Butler is like, I want you to pay me for what I have done, not what I'm going to do.
This
Guys
is his
like,
last chance too. This is his last chance to
and
make
this
any
is the
money.
last chance to get that. He knows after this Warriors, ain't nobody else gonna be paying him like this. Oh well,
Mm-hmm.
you would think nobody else would pay him like this. You got
Some
some
idiot
crazy
will do it.
deals. You
Some
got
dumbo
some
will do
idiot
it.
do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I can see his point of, well, look what I've done. He's trying to get paid off resume rather than what I can do for your team in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that was a contract. Like I had an argument one time with Logan. I think Logan actually came on here one time and argued with about the Derek Carr and Patrick Mahomes contract when Patrick Mahomes had the $500 million contract, and he was like, he's not worth that. What if he never gets into the Super Bowl ever again? Because he had already won one. That was it. And I was like, well, I don't. They're not going off his resume for him. They're going off the potential. And
Mm-hmm.
obviously, guess what? That's a contract that was obviously worth it for the
Yeah.
Chiefs. And I think for Jimmy Butler, he's a guy that's trying to get paid off his resume. Look what I've done for you, Miami. Y'all can at least give me an extension. But
Jimmy
I'm
Buckets.
in this scenario. So most of the time I'm for the player, but in this scenario, I am with the franchise on this one, brother. That an extension, and you barely even play, and then you don't even want to play. What? What? Like I don't get this. This is crazy. This is crazy. And you're 35. Like if there was like a reasonable number, yes. But this brother wanted like how much did he want? He wanted like some absurd number.
Yeah. 60 something million. Yeah, I think he's wanting 60
Yes.
something million a year.
I
He got
was
me
like, what?
about got it. So now the Warriors have that tied up on their cap books
I
for
mean, looking at the Warriors roster, man, I'm a little bit disappointed, to be honest with you.
it's enough to where it makes them playoff contenders
That's it.
for this
That's it.
season. I know you're trying to utilize this as much as you can with Steph's remaining years left. So we'll see if we'll see how it works, man. But Heat get Andrew Wiggins, Kyle Anderson, Davion Mitchell, and a first round pick. Um, some people argue maybe they could have got more if they waited. Some people argue that this was a good deal because they got out of the Jimmy Butler business and got a first
Yeah.
round pick in the mix, and then they got some Wiggins who kind of fits their culture probably, Kyle Anderson who's going to probably be decent with them, and Davion Mitchell who plays good defense. So I mean, where are they at right now in the Eastern Conference standings? Are they even
They are
going to be
currently number
good?
8. I mean 9. They're not. They're 9 right
So I
now.
mean, they'll end up at least making the play in, and they can
Yeah.
be. They're always going to be a threat, just wherever they make it. They're just a tough team to beat.
Yeah, they're right behind the Hawks, Hawks been playing here and there. Hawks, you know what's funny with the Hawks? They'll beat the good
What?
teams, but then lose to the bad teams. Like
Yeah,
it's the craziest thing with me. They beat
they
like
hung in
all
with the
the top
Knicks
ranked
the other
teams.
night.
They did, but they've beaten Cleveland, they've beaten Boston, they've beaten New York, they've beaten Indiana, they've
Your
beaten all this
team,
like top ranked teams.
L.A. I was there live when they beat L.A.
They beat the Lakers. They've
Mm-hmm.
beaten OKC. How they beat all these teams but lose to the sorry teams? Like how you lose to the Hornets and the Raptors? Like what are we doing, Atlanta? Like
No clue, man.
Oh my gosh.
Speaking of the Hawks, they made a couple moves. One of which being they moved DeAndre Hunter for Karis LeVert, George Niang, 3 second-round picks, and 2 pick swaps from the Cavs.
Oh
So what'd you think about that?
well, why would they let go of Hunter?
I think this was the last year of his deal, if I'm not mistaken.
He went. Wait a minute. Hunter went where?
He went to the Cavaliers, which makes them, a bit better. I mean,
A
that's
bit
that's good.
better. Well, why would
That's
they let
good
go
depth
of
for them.
Hunter?
It's good depth for
I
them.
don't like that. I don't like that.
No, this wasn't going to be the end of his deal, I guess. He's still got 3 more years left on it. I guess they just wanted to utilize,
You lost
you know,
what? You
I
lost
guess
what?
get something for his asset. I mean, use him as an asset to get some other assets. They got 3 second round picks. Doesn't do much here, but 2 pick swaps. I wonder what the pick swaps are for.
Brother, he's averaging 18. I mean, on 46% shooting this year. That's a great asset. Why would I don't understand the Hawks in this one. I need more clarity on this. Why would we let go of DeAndre Hunter?
2 swaps. I don't know the deal of this
Then
deal.
you
I'm not
then
able
you
to
give him
tell
to the
what the
number one
swaps are
team in
for.
the conference. What?
I mean, I don't know if they're really. They may end up making the play in, but they're just such a weird team this year. It's hard to read where they're actually going to go with this.
Well, remember who we talking about. The Atlanta Hawks. It's the Atlanta Hawks, man. Gosh.
I'm trying to think here about this. Cleveland fits the bill. The Hawks. Cavaliers have ducked the luxury cap or luxury tax with this trade, so they got under the luxury tax, so that helps them out. Let me see here. The Hawks. Yeah, a lot of people aren't really doing good on this one.
That don't make sense to me. I don't grasp that one. I think he was one of their, you know, better players holding up throughout this season. I mean, I know Jalen Johnson.
Since the Hawks may have been uncomfortable with the 2 remaining years on Hunter's contract, that's
He's the
still that made
second
them
best
better.
scorer on their team.
Levert is on an expiring deal while Niang has 1 year left. The first round swaps that the Hawks are getting aren't very valuable either. It's 2026 and 2028, so they're probably not going to end up wanting to even swap those. Yeah, kind of a dumb deal then. This was kind of stupid. And I think Jackson, if we got him on here right now, he would probably say the same
Yeah,
thing.
Jackson would definitely be able to help that one. I don't grasp that one, but I don't
Yeah.
grasp that one.
They weren't done there. They actually got rid of Bogdan Bogdanovich to the Clippers for Terrence Mann, Bones Highland, and 3 second round picks 2025, 2026, and 2027
Well,
from them.
Bogdan ain't been playing. Well, I didn't
He'll
see.
be good for the Clippers. I think he'll fit them pretty
Yeah,
good. Terrence Mann will be, he's a
he's
decent
so good. Man.
assets. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, at one point, like that was a guy that people kind of liked a lot. I mean, he had a high price tag. I
Yeah, when he
thought.
used to be on the Clippers, yeah, well, he was. Yeah, when he originally was on Clippers, those years they used to make a little run. Yeah, you know.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think this may have been just to save money. All this stuff that they did. Um, I don't quite know. What the whole thing was behind this, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, Hawks just are. It's just a weird team to follow.
Look again. Look what we talking about. The Hawks.
Yeah.
The Hawks.
Yeah.
Bad.
They gave him a C plus on the
I
athletic
would have too, bro. Come
for
on,
for
man.
that for the Terrence Mann, Bones Highland.
Mm-mm. I disagree on that.
Yeah, that's just a weird mix. I don't understand it. But yeah, that's the trades they did. Then you also had um, what I referenced earlier, Mark Williams. So this one came in the middle of the night. Mark Williams getting traded to the Lakers for Dalton Connect, Cam Reddish, an unprotected 2031 first round pick, and a 2030 pick swap that has since been rescinded. I kind of talked myself into this one. I know we were kind of mixed on this one in the group chat. I do like Dalton Connect. I think he's a good player.
Mhm.
Of course, I think the draft assets there were worth something. Cam Reddish has pretty much become nothing at this point, but um, I thought that this would be a pretty good deal actually because Mark Williams is a pretty athletic big who could help out the Lakers right now because that's the one position they really need people. Now they're just left with Jackson Hayes, who's dealing with a face contusion, and they just brought in Alex Lynn. So those are their centers right now. They've been playing a lot more small ball. Really, is what they've been having to do, and they've been it's been working pretty decent. But um, I would have been fine with the trade had it gone through, and he was actually healthy. But apparently, there's a lot of problems, especially with his feet. So that's the thing I was kind of referencing earlier. Your boy Kuzma got traded to the Bucks. Torres,
That's
Kyle Kuzma,
impressive.
Jericho Sims, and 2 second round picks to the Bucks. The Wizards received Chris Middleton, who might get bought out, A.J. Johnson, in a 2028 first-round pick swap. The Knicks got DeLon Wright, draft rights to some foreign player, and the Spurs got Patrick Baldwin in cash. What do you think about Kuzma joining the Bucks?
That's
So far, he's actually played decent for him.
I have to see that. I'm about to say I have to look more into that.
So far, he's
That'll
been okay.
that'll be interesting because looking at let me see where the Bucks currently stand. They're 5 seed right now. Um, that could be a good little addition to the Milwaukee Bucks. I
You know
mean,
how
look
I
at
feel about him. I don't really care for him.
I know you don't. I know you don't. I mean, looking at their roster, it's yeah, it's all right. The
Yeah.
roster's all right.
They also got Kevin Porter Jr. from the Clippers for Marjan
I see
Beauchamp.
they got Kevin Porter Jr. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you already know about me. As long as they got Doc Rivers, I can't trust them.
Yeah.
I can't trust them.
Uh, your Phoenix Suns got rid of Yusuf Nurkic and a 2026 first round pick for Cody Martin, this Vasilije Micic, and a
I mean,
2026
it
second round
is.
pick.
How you know?
That was just a get rid of Nurkic thing. Nurkic just hasn't meshed with the team. He's practically got to the point they're not playing him. So this was just like,
Get
please
them
take
off.
him off our hands, and
Yeah.
we'll give you a first round pick. Which I don't know what the Suns are doing, dude. Have you seen where they sit in the standings?
Yeah, they're currently behind Golden State, who's Golden State is at 10, so they're at 11.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know what they're doing.
that's
I
pretty bad,
mean,
man.
look to
That's pretty
have
bad.
Bill, Durant, and Booker.
Booker,
Mm,
yeah, not pretty at all. Yeah, you had some other small deals, nothing really major. Hawks doing another thing where they got rid of Cody Zeller in a 2028 second round pick. Just stuff like that. A lot of fringe moves. Then you had the Kings get Jonas Valanciunas for City Sissoko and two future second round picks. So that was a pretty cheap deal to get Jonas. But he hasn't really had a great season up to this point.
nah.
Quentin Grimes. Your
Well, he went
Mavericks
there.
got rid of Quentin Grimes
Mm,
for a 2025 second round pick. They got Caleb Martin.
yeah.
Oh yeah, and then of course we can't go without talking about the Spurs getting De'Aaron Fox. The Spurs
Oh, that
received,
was huge. I saw that.
yeah,
Yes, that was beautiful.
Spurs got De'Aaron Fox and Jordan McLaughlin. Kings got Zach Levine, City Sissoko, 2025, 2027, 2031 first round picks, and then some three second round picks. The Bulls got Zach Collins, Kevin Herter, Trey Jones, and a 2025 first round pick
That's actually a
via the
solid team.
Spurs.
I actually like that. That's a solid team for the Spurs. Now, granted, like yeah, they're right behind the Suns. They're 12 seed, but um, I can see some improvement hopefully for them boys going into the lasting stretch of the season. So they got to get on some runs, but
Yeah, they're going to have to make a push if they're going to try to get into the playoff mix because right now
yeah,
they're on the outside looking in. So we'll see.
yeah,
But
we'll
they got
see.
a good young crew and they got a lot of picks to work with, including the Hawks, who the Hawks aren't looking like they're going to be finishing too well. So they're going to have a
Nah.
nice little pick in this year's draft
Man,
too.
looking at these standings currently at the All Star break, especially on the Western Conference, is pretty interesting, man. You know, currently you got obviously OKC 44-10, Memphis the 2 seed, Denver the 3 seed. Which again, I'm like this with Denver, man. You got to remember Denver lost in 7 games to the Timberwolves, and they just had a really bad second half of shooting. That's how they lost, and that game's still close. Like I told you this on the show last year, I said had the Mavericks played the Nuggets, I don't think we would have beat them. I said I like the matchup against the Timberwolves, but I didn't think we matched up well against Denver. And I think Denver's going to be one of those teams that's going to be hard for a lot of teams to match up with. Um, and I think LA's right in a good spot. You know, the Lakers. If they play the Rockets first, I definitely like their chances against the Rockets. And then if standings hold to where they are currently, um, and then if the Lakers have to play OKC in the next round, you know, that's that's a tough game, but I mean a tough
I
series.
think
But
the
I
Lakers can match up better with OKC than they would Denver.
yeah,
Denver's just the one team that
yeah, they just got that number.
yeah, it's gonna be tough. Whatever way you look at it, it's gonna be tough.
I'm about to say they still ain't beating them boys. Hey,
Yeah,
like, cause they have, I'm about to say they've already they play again this actually they play again this Saturday, Sunday, Friday.
Lakers and
The
Nuggets
Nuggets, yeah, they play in
Friday
Denver.
night. You said
hmm
I
In
just haven't
Denver.
watched that. Okay.
Yeah, in Denver. Yep.
Yeah, I'm sitting here looking at the Oklahoma City Thunder's incoming draft picks, man. So just this upcoming draft alone, they have their own pick. Then they have, well, I believe they have their own pick. No, they don't. They don't have their own pick. Let's see. They have Miami's pick. It's protected 1 through 14. They have the right to swap their pick for Houston or the Clippers if they want. They have Philadelphia's pick protected 1 through 6, which they may end up getting that. They may end up being able to. Depends. Phillies suck this year, so we'll see. They may finish in the top 6 of the lottery. And then Utah, they're protected 1 through 10, but Utah's going to be in that top 10. They're awful right now. I think they're bottom of the West, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that one's not happening. Where's Philly at in the East?
Philly is currently 11, right behind
11.
Chicago, 11. Yeah. So,
That'll be tight. That'll be tight. Depends on if Philly can rip off some wins or not. Which I don't know. If you're Philly, are you since you have this pick traded? Are you trying to win games? I think you are. You're trying to win games so you can maybe make the play in and get in the playoffs
I
and
mean,
get the pick.
they're only 2 games behind Chicago. So, it's possible. It's
All these
possible.
picks they got though, it's ridiculous looking at it, man. It's crazy. So, yeah, man.
Do you ever think they might give up Embiid?
Yeah, I don't know what you're gonna get at this point though. He stays hurt, and misses so many games. I don't know what you're gonna do with him. Whoever gets him, I've been putting
And then
putting
Paul
pressure on
George
him.
ain't doing
He
jack.
sucks.
He
He
ain't doing
sucks.
jack.
What did they
Lord.
call him? Yeah, playoff P, and then what was he in the L.A. with the Clippers? They called him yeah, playoff P. We'd be cracking on him, hitting the side of the backboard, crap like that. Golly.
Yeah, he's had a little bit of a fall off. But
Mm-hmm.
look, we gotta remember, man, these guys been playing for a long
They
time. Like
have.
these
This
guys
was
been playing for a
back.
long. These guys were in their prime while we was in high school, Tyler.
Yes, Paul
And we're
George
like
was
10 years.
definitely in there.
We're
That's
10 years
crazy.
removed. That's crazy, bro. Let me tell you something. I went
Paul
to the
George was
wrestling.
a problem.
He was, and like I was saying, I went to the wrestling state championships this past weekend in Macon.
Mm-hmm.
And bro, I'm gonna be honest, it's like you know, they're talking, and like everybody's like, yeah, this is. They had a guy in Jones County make it to the state championship.
Oh
He
wow.
got second place, but he made it. And they're like, yeah, he's the first guy to make it to the state championship, and he has the opportunity to be the first one to win it since you did. And I said, man, I thought, Frank. They said, yeah, you the last one to win it 9 years ago, but I won my first one in 2015, so that was my first one was 10 years ago, but my second one's in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
But I said and thought about it, I was like,
Crazy.
man, don't say that. I was like, what?
Time has really flown, man.
10 years
Time has really.
ago, I still remember like those that night, that entire day. I still remember everything about it. But 10 years, dude, that's a long time. Like Tyler, that's a
Really,
long time, man. That's a
I'm getting
long
old.
time. That's a long time.
Crazy,
Time go by
crazy.
so fast. It's go by so fast. So yeah, when I see a lot of these players, and they're like, man, these guys got old, and I'm sitting there thinking, man, these jokers used to be good in their primes. This is what we grew up
Yeah,
on.
freaking loved him with Indiana, man. Then he had one
Yeah.
stint
Oh
there
my
at
gosh, the
OKC.
Indiana teams were so good. They were
Mm-hmm.
so fun to watch. Man, they were
Yeah,
so good.
good times.
That
Good
was
times.
a good time.
Speaking of Jones County, thoughts on the new head coach,
Yes. So obviously we have the
Justin Montgomery, right?
Justin Montgomery, the defensive coordinator from Carrollton. I'm really excited to see that, man. I am. I think he fits the culture here at Jones County, and yeah, there's a lot of problems going on there. But hopefully, a lot of the things get gathered together, and he gets the right coach staff. I don't even know who they still pick the athletic director yet, have they?
I don't think so.
Okay, so
Which
that'll
you
be
thought it would
interesting.
have been different. You would have done that first, and then
First, that's what I
but
would have thought. But
yeah,
then
I think we all
again,
talked about
it
that.
is February, and it's midway February, so you need like a football coach because March is about the time we getting ready for spring.
Yeah,
March and April.
football. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I can understand why they went ahead with that one. But also, congrats to the Jones County women. I mean, they just won the region championship.
Saw
They're
that against Stockbridge.
Stockbridge. They're 25-1, with their only loss being to
Pretty
Warner
awesome.
Robins. And I think Warner Robins' only loss is to Ware County. So They only lost to another one-loss team. So, and you got to remember, Jones County last year was in the Final Four. So they was in the Final Four last year. So they
Right.
got a good little women's basketball team. So I'm excited to see how those girls do. But and
Mm-hmm.
then you got Takeo Gray, from Jones County. He's the head coach his first year there, so he's doing really good. I'm excited for them.
Yeah. Yeah, from what Kobe said, because I saw Kobe post something about it. He was like, congratulations, coach, when Montgomery was named it. And he had talked with him. Dad had told me that, he had stops at Thomasville, Valdosta, of course, Carrollton, and then, Kobe at Warner Robins. So, yeah, he actually coached under Chastain, ironically,
Mm.
at Warner Robins. And, Kobe said he was just awesome. He was a player's coach. He said he would still run through a brick wall for this guy if he asked him to. He said that he was really heavy on developing young guys. So
That's good.
that sounds like, what Jones County needs, I
Look,
think.
my thing. I know this may be small, but my thing. Please split up the Clifton Ridge and Gray Station. Do not make that one team in middle school. I'm
They
sorry.
done spent the money, man. They done spent the money. I feel like on these uniforms and stuff, I feel like there ain't no coming
That's the
back from that.
worst thing possible. Why would you? You're taking away from the kids from Clifton Ridge.
Yeah,
Wow,
I
Steph
agree.
Curry won the All Star MVP. Interesting. Congrats, Steph.
All Star game, how embarrassing. Yeah, I'm not a fan of
I'm not a fan.
All Star games in general. They're just nothing much to it,
I'm
man.
about to say yeah, because I was in Orlando during the time of the Pro Bowl, and my head manager, he was a manager of some of the NFL guys, and there was a few NFL guys he had in the Pro Bowl, and he's like, yeah, yeah. Well, I was like, I don't want to go out there and see grown men play flag football, run around that.
Right. Well,
That's
you
that's
didn't
not
want
my.
to you didn't want to go watch Sexy Red and
No, I didn't want
Ronald
to see
run.
that.
You sure you know? You
Or
sure you sure about that?
that.
You
Hey,
sure?
I didn't want to go see Sexy Red. I didn't want to go see Drewski or. I'm not.
Drewski's funny, man. I like Drewski.
I don't get it. He's not funny to me, man.
I think he's funny. I don't like the
A lot of people
speed guy.
do.
I don't like the
I don't
speed guy. I don't like the.
see. Let
I'm
me
not a
tell you
big
something.
Kai Sanat
I'm not
guy
a
or
fan of
whatever.
Castanet, but Speed is growing on me. Maybe because he's in
I
my
don't
world.
know.
He
Maybe
comes
maybe
in the
he's getting a little bit more mature, but like used to, he would just
yeah.
do stupid stuff.
He
Like,
wouldn't see the
and
stuff.
don't get me wrong, like Drewski's not like he does some stupid stuff too, but he's just I don't know. It's just humor that gets me laughing, man. I think I
I
was
gotta say,
watching his
I've
little
watched some of Drewski stuff, and I
could have
just
been love thing that he started today. That crap. Some of it had me laughing. Some of it was like,
really, yeah, I can't get behind him, man. I never thought he was too funny to me. Like I like Desi Banks. I think Desi Banks is really funny. You know,
yeah, okay. I've seen some of his stuff. Yeah,
yeah, I
yeah.
think he's really funny to me, but yeah, I don't know, just probably like the different type of humors. But I've watched
Mm,
it, and I can just keep it there with a straight face. Like I don't get a laugh out of it yet. Now there's been a few that's made me like chuckle, but that's about it. It's not much.
I'd have to see about some of the videos I used to watch and send it to you if I see some
Yes,
good
you got to
Drewski
send me
stuff.
some because
There were some in the past that got me just dying. I can't remember what. Every now and he'll come out with these bits like of him being a girl, like a ghetto girl. Like he just reminds me of some of the girls at our school eating the hot chips, all that kind of
I will
stuff.
say this though. I will say
Like
this.
that, it's just relatable, man.
I
And then
will say
the old black man with the motorcycle sitting there, dancing and wiping it. Like it reminds me of my coworker. Stuff like that. It's just relatable, man. It's
I will
relatable.
say this. There are some that he be on
He starts
point
going,
with for sure.
Look, he starts doing that. That crap gets me
I
laughing every
I
time.
will say, look, the Alabama one, that's a good one. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
The roll tide with the older white man there. I don't know who his name is.
Yeah,
That was
the give
good.
a piss about nothing but the tide.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was good. That's good.
The one where he's acting like a construction guy building on the interstates or whatever, and
Uh,
it's why they and just being in Macon, the construction's been
the
going on for
construction
years, and
site.
it says what these
He
guys
must
are
hang
really
around
doing.
Georgia. He gotta hang around
He is. He's
Georgia.
from Atlanta, but
See, that makes
he
sense.
said what they're really doing, and it's them out there on Facebook Live smoking like black and milds, and then they started doing like one-on-one football stuff. Like he's just sitting there trying to juke and get by, and they're throwing
Dude,
football.
you
It's
know
crap
what?
like
You ain't
that.
lying because what he be posting is literally what I be seeing throughout folks in Jones. I be like, what's going on here? Like, dude, everybody in their lives. I don't get it, but everybody loves their
Pornhub.
lives. Dude, bro,
Oh, the
dude. Let me tell you
can't
something.
handle
I
it.
have mistakenly joined his live one of those times, and
Uh,
I about died, bro. because he had called my name. He said,
Uh-oh.
Fide, what it
Uh-huh.
do? And I was like, oh, I'm free.
Get out, get out, get out.
I had to get out quick. I was like, cause I'll be forgetting the live show who's watching.
It
And
does.
I just joined it just to see what was going on. And I'm like, oh, freaky. But that's funny.
Yeah.
I will say, for me personally, Jones County on Facebook. When I was in training in Florida, I'm going back to Florida to finish up my training camp.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was in Florida, um, when I get home at night, I'll just be scrolling through Facebook, just looking at all the chaos, all the chaos in Jones County.
There's
And
been a
every
bunch of
day,
them.
it was either something with a beef between somebody, another beef, something going on in the school system, the board of education. I mean, it was on a roll. And we was in our group message. I was like, man, this is Jones County Netflix. I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
This is something else, boy.
Crazy. Crazy. How is the training going? I've seen you posting some stuff with some different guys. Think you've been sparring or something like that?
Yeah, a lot of sparring. Definitely having a really good camp, man. Training been going good, really good so far. Uh,
Saw
yeah,
you
man.
post with one guy. I was like, I think I recognize him. I can't remember who it was exactly. I can't point back to who it was, but you posted, doing something with somebody, like you were doing some type of sparring with somebody. Big black
Uh,
guy.
Probably Phil Rowe. Probably Phil.
Probably, probably.
Yeah, probably Phil Rowe. It's been really good, man. Learning a lot of stuff. I really feel like Fusion has helped upping my game. In growing. As I'm getting ready for my debut, and yeah, I'm really excited. You know, I'm just feeling really good now. Starting to slowly get my weight down, and yeah, this is like my last weekend of enjoyment food. Now everything's got to be
Mm.
stricter, on my diet, and yeah, and it was pretty good to be able to go home to Macon, eat good one last time before I have to really get strict. So, yeah, I'm really pumped. I'm here in chat for 1 week. Doing some stuff at PKP, strength conditioning stuff. Excelling my like pushing my cardio to the limit to get it prepared to go into, as they say, this is the gritty times of camp. A lot of sparring. You're gonna be sore. You gotta push through it. So I'm doing all that in Florida, and yeah, we're gonna be ready.
All right, man. Awesome. Well, any last things here you want to talk about before we break it down?
No, man, this is no good show, good show. Yeah, just been chilling. A lot of these sports, you gotta remember, we just got no All Star break, so now the back end of NBA, a lot more attention can be paid to,
Mm-hmm.
will be paid. Um, I don't know much about anything else that's going on. I mean, college basketball. You got the women's.
Yeah, I've been keeping up with some of it. Yeah. Oh,
I've
yeah,
been
yeah. I
keeping up with
watched
some
that
of
today. I
them.
watched UConn and South Carolina.
Yeah,
UConn
UConn got
demolished them.
beat the bites off them girls. Good God.
They were shooting lights out. Like they were balls.
Juju against UCLA.
Okay, I didn't see that one.
Did she drop 38? She had 38 and 11. Like she had a
Mm-hmm.
phenomenal game. Um, at home. Texas played somebody today.
LSU, they came back and beat them.
Whoa, they did.
Yeah.
Wow, I did not see that. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've been keeping up with some of it. Like some of the women's basketball has really gotten pretty good.
Dude, it is. It's real interesting. Dude, I don't
Yeah,
know
like
what.
that was good basketball today in that UConn South Carolina game. I enjoyed that. So
Dang, I didn't.
I used to couldn't say that. So yeah,
Wow,
and then I've
that's
been watching a little
actually.
bit of the men's. The Georgia sucks. They start off hot and then they blow up in the second half. Then I watched Alabama Auburn the other day. That was a pretty good game. So
Yes, how was that game? I saw that
it was
Auburn got the
good.
win. Was that in Tuscaloosa?
Yeah,
Wow, that's a big
big
win.
win. Yeah.
That's a big win.
So yeah, yeah, man, we're entering into some big territory. March Madness coming up soon. NBA. Like you said, getting toward then serious games where it'll be really telling of who's gonna make the postseason. So
That's right.
yeah. Well, thank you guys all out there for tuning in and listening. Thank you out there for listening. If you're listening on podcasts, you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere podcasts are located. Continue to show us support by subscribing, liking, sharing, following, anything like that on the social media channels or podcast platforms. We appreciate all the support, and as always, we'll see you guys next time.
Boom, boom.